Yo, family, what is good? Welcome back again to another daily live stream. It's going to be a short and sweet one today, unfortunately. Not the typical hour-long one, probably only half an hour, but I'll do my best to get through all the questions, compact all the information as quickly and as concisely as I possibly can so you are aware of the recent updates. What's happening right now, where we saw Bitcoin and crypto show a little bit of life over the past day or two, or showing some momentum. And then starting yesterday, we started on the pullback, and now today it has continued. We are now down almost 4% in Bitcoin today, down to $68,000. And just to reiterate, if you are part of my VIP, or even in this case, part of my free Discord server, you would have seen 3 trade setups that we have put into the community, where our trader Lambo, I've been forwarding it into the community here so everyone can partake. I do it to some of them. And Lambo, one of our traders in there, put some good trade in for Bitcoin, saying that we should get in around 71,000, DCA at 73,000, another DCA at 75, and stop loss at 77. In the target that we get down to 53,000. And best case scenario for us here, we did fill in the 73,000 DCA level, and now we are in profit. And we even move our stop loss to the entry, which now means worst case scenario is Bitcoin pumps and we lose no money. So we have now officially won that Bitcoin trade. We've been doing a lot of these trades recently in our VIP, and we've been winning, just like Trump says all the time, but we have been winning a lot. Our success rate is very, very high. So we want to partake in those trades, benefit and make gains in these tough markets right now. By all means, check out the VIP, links down below in the description. And sign up right now, get a 7-day free trial as well. We're seeing Bitcoin show some weakness. ETH also down about almost 4.5% right now. Solana down 4.2% right now, trading within this support band right here. Once more, Solana for me, an asset that's going to do well in the future. I think everyone can attest to that, given its size of the ecosystem and the development going on within it. For me, anything under $85 Solana is a decent entry. Of course, the lower the better, but don't always try and time the bottoms. Saying that, I'm not in Solana just yet, but I will be getting into it when I perceive the time is right for the markets. And right now, I think we've got more headwinds and more downwards pressure ahead of us, which is fine. That's brilliant, if anything. So Solana's already near our entry once more. But of course, this stream, while I am trying to expand and talk more about crypto, and I will be doing my utmost and my best to do that throughout this week going forward, today I'm going to try and dedicate it to pretty much just Kaspa and event news. So, to start off with, we're going to get into the event news and then get into the Kaspa headline, which is Tier 1 Exchange suggests that Kaspa can rise 300% to 10 cents. We'll get to that post in a very short moment. But before we do, what's happening right now in the market? Why are we seeing this correction? Well, as we can see, oil is shot up astronomically because the strait that Iran controls, they have shut it down. So a lot of the oil, especially 80% of China's oil that comes from Iran, is now not moving anywhere. As a result, oil is skyrocketing. So all investment right now is going towards oil. Still somewhat into the metals, but not as much as normally you'd expect, because right now oil is where all the capital is going into. During this time, risk on markets are just not valued because we're in a war. Very volatile time, things can get worse at a moment's notice, and Trump hasn't indicated any signs of this thing ending any sooner. In fact, it could go on for a long, long time. The longer this war goes on for, the more bearish the markets will behave. Now, give it a few months or so, God forbid it goes on that long, by that point the markets will price in this war. But right now the markets are pricing in a short-term war as opposed to a long-term one, and now it looks like they're starting to price in a long-term war, hence when the markets are pulling back a little bit more. We can see, I've got an update here, the second largest monthly job loss since the pandemic. That's also why the market's down today. If you go onto Forex Factory, I made this post to my VIPs a little bit ago today. You can see the job report here. I had mentioned to my VIPs 3 scenarios. The job report, which was at 126 previous, expected to be 58k. If it was at expectations, you would have saw a small pump probably. If it was slightly higher, so better than expected, you would have seen probably a bit of a pullback. If you saw it slightly lower than expected, so slightly below 58k, you would have seen a bit of a pump, because if unemployment is below expectations, so therefore we're seeing less jobs coming out, it incentivizes the Fed to start cutting rates, which is good for risk on markets. This was the 4th scenario, which is where we were underneath it, but not just a little bit. We massively missed the expected target. We lost 92,000 jobs, and unemployment is rallying up once again to 4.4%. Anything above 5 is scary. That's basically recessionary territory if we're not already in one. So that is scary. We're seeing inflation staying high, unemployment increasing as well. We are very much in the perceived stagflation era. The worst part about this, at least in the immediate short term, is the unemployment, while it's high, as I mentioned once more to my VIPs earlier today, it's at a level which we have already seen before. And as such, it's unlikely that Jerome Powell and his Fed are going to take any action. So it's not good. We can highly believe and want to believe at least that when Kevin Walsh takes over in May, he will take action with this unemployment, with the inflation, and he will just have to choose between the rock and the hard place and choose which ones he wants to prioritize, a recession or stagflation, which the obvious option there is you want a stagflation over a recession. You don't want to have that, so you will obviously just start cutting rates. And also with that being known as well, a lot of the reason why we're seeing what's happening right now is because a lot of the debt, we printed a stupid amount of money following the pandemic, and a lot of that debt is now needing to be refinanced. When we originally issued that money and printed it, interest rates at 0. And now we're above 3. So it's paying a premium, paying more money on all the trillions of dollars that we printed. So that's why Trump and that's why the Fed should be trying to get interest rates lower. I know Trump wants that. Hopefully Kevin Walsh will support that theory as well, or that go towards that development even. But yes, the reason why the markets are so terrible right now is because while we did want a slight miss in unemployment and non-farm payroll, it wasn't a slight miss. It was a drastic miss. And a very concerning one, once more, the second largest monthly job loss since the pandemic. Oil prices are now up 60% in 4 months to a new 2-year high. Gas prices are up more than 20% since December 2025. That's only 2, if not 3 months. US PPI inflation unexpectedly rising to its highest since July 2025. It's not the key piece of inflation metric that we all tend to use, at least not the Fed. The Fed uses PCE, and we tend to pay more attention to PCE, CPI, true inflation, yada yada. It's still an inflation metric. It's still important to know, and it's high, and that's not good. And then you're seeing other elements as well, all starting to increase more and more. We expect to see an increase in AI investment as well from the Mag 7 companies. Not unexpected. What's the right word I'm looking for here? It's not unexpected, right? I just posted a document into my VIP. I'm going to try and make a video on it tomorrow. So you're going to get a little bit of VIP insight. A document coming from Broadridge, which, to reiterate and give you a little bit of a teaser into why you should care about this document here. This is what the document looks like, classified document here that I got a hold of. Transformation Accelerated 2026 Digital Transformation and Next Gen Technology Study here. Why should you care about this document? Who are Broadridge? Well, Broadridge is an S&P 500 powerhouse, and they sit at the center of global markets. They serve over 1,100 banks and broker-dealers. We're talking JP Morgan, Fidelity, Vanguard. If these massive banks, if these massive brokers, they want to change how they process, if they want to do anything, they have to talk to Broadridge first. So when Broadridge says something, that is basically the rule of law, if you will. Broadridge is a company that makes sure that the world's $100 trillion plus doesn't break. They try to keep the financial market stable, although right now it is completely out of whack. But this document here that I'll be trying to make a video on tomorrow, or at least definitely this weekend, is basically talking about the future of finance, which is all on chain, all on blockchain, all with AI driven investments, which is proof of the stuff we're looking at now. VIP, we have 2 major deep dive documents in there. One is regarding our AI hedges, and also regarding our real world asset hedges, which comes in line with tokenization and on chain developments. So we have been very well in the know a year or so in advance now, prepared for these sort of news sources, and this only further validates our beliefs. So if you want to find out more, links down below in the VIP. 7-day free trials, equally 1 month free trial if you sign up to BYDFI, our affiliated exchange, which you can find in the Get VIP Access channel right here as well. Just follow the steps right here, reach out to me on Discord, and I'll get you set up ASAP. But that is ultimately what's happening right now. The main reason we're seeing the bad correction is due to the non-farm payroll. It is due to the unemployment, which has set the precedent for how this week is going to pan out. We're still very much in a headline of a market, with war still being all in the headlines. We can see oil's now above 90. And that means that we've got to be very, very cautious. We now are likely going to expect to see a bigger correction in the stock market. Of course, we're now approaching onto the weekend, so we may not see that reaction until markets open on Monday. But this is unsurprising, and this is currently where we're sitting at. That's why Bitcoin is now at 68k again, down almost 4%. And we can very well see Bitcoin make a return back down. We'll see how it goes from here, but as it stands right now, I'm kind of in the sentiment to believe that we'll start seeing Bitcoin trade between 70 to 65k once again. And any movement above or below that will determine whether we're in a downtrend or trying to push back up to 78k uptrend like we were trying to do back here on the Wednesday, after the good ISM services and manufacturing reports that are forward-looking indicators that let us know that this economy, that the US economy is growing and should be good in the months to follow. Just right now, we're not there yet. But that is the long and short of the general market sentiment right now. We have got some other interesting updates regarding US regulators like the OCC, like the Fed, like the FDIC, who have now green-lighted tokenized securities for banks, announcing that tokenized securities will receive the same treatment as traditional securities, allowing banks hold the blockchain-based versions with no added regulatory scrutiny, which is a very big step for crypto and adoption and where this space is going to be going in the future. We only need to see regulatory frameworks, the Genius Bill, the Clarity Act, MiCA, and what's happening in the UK. I think that's not going to happen until 2027 though, but once all these bills are finalized and implemented, market's going to explode. There's zero doubts about that, and tomorrow's video, or this weekend's video, will prove as such as to why. But that's very, very big. Actually, speaking of that, I just realized that this week's roundtable that my executives will also be public to members as well. So if you're a member, like Dimitar, like Falco, and like others who are in this community as well, you will have access to the executive roundtable that will be posted on this channel on Sunday in and around, I want to say 5 p.m. UK time, give or take. So stay tuned for that. You'll get a little bit of an inkling to what we talk about in the VIP. We'll cover all the documentation, our assets, our picture. You'll be seeing the new asset that is on our radar, what we're going to be buying into and what area we want to buy into it, and ultimately why as well. So stay tuned for all of that, family. Now, we also got this interestingly as well. ETFs seem to be rallying up again, which is also a good sign that this market is eventually or soon enough going to be due for a recovery, with ETF funders coming out again. Polkadot in there, which, I mean, Polkadot is absolutely tanking. I remember our trader Lambo trying to get into a Polkadot trade, and it did not go well, and he hasn't come back to Polkadot since, which is because one thing I've realized as well during my experience with crypto and those who are trading, they normally have their hand-picked assets they really, really like trading. Like, I have some traders who I've seen who love getting into GOAT, again into FIL, the Filecoin. They love getting into Tau. But I know Lambert, he seems to very much love virtuals. His success rate in getting into virtual trades has been very, very good. I think right now we've got an open virtuals trade. Yeah, I still haven't cashed out yet. I took profit when Lambert said we should do, and I've been letting it ride. And currently, right now, we're sitting at quite comfortably over 100% gain. So 100%, or a 2x right now, because I have got 10x leverage on it. So the trader's been doing very good on that front. But yeah, I'm not so bullish on Polkadot, if I'm being frank. But the fact you see the ETF filing for it just means more institutional adoption coming in. Polkadot is currently down to $1.41. 49 even, down 2% right now. Could see a continued pullback, of course, time will tell. But anyways, that being said, that is kind of finally the kind of market update news out right now. Now you want to see what this stream is really about. Why did a tier 1 exchange say that Kaspa is going to make a 300% gain, a 3x from basically $3 right now, not $3, sorry, 3 cents right now, up to as high as 10, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot. When you think about 10 cents, Kaspa, we've been there many a time before, but it is still significant, especially in this current climate, in a position where we'll be seeing a 3x, if not a bit more from here. So that would be quite a big. Well, why are we seeing that? Well, Kaspa is currently down to 0.0299 or 2.99 cents, down 1.6% on the daily time frame. Still under the impression, my personal belief, that we could see Kaspa come down to the support zone down here. Of course, not financial advice, but Kaspa been trading within the support band here. You can see very come to respecting the support band for the past month and a bit now, since January 31st. Apart from this momentary blip here, February 5th and February 6th. But it's been trading comfortably within here. If we see Bitcoin continues more downtrends, Kaspa may follow. But right now, I think Kaspa, it comes down, yeah, if Bitcoin manages to come down to 60k, I think Kaspa loses the support here and comes down to here. If Bitcoin manages to hold the 65k, as it's been doing for the past month itself, then I think Kaspa will equally be holding the support here of 2.9 cents or 0.029 and continue trading within the zone, and then it would make that move, hopefully upwards, when the market has that bottom absolutely confirmed, which ultimately right now we're trying to find where that bottom is. A lot of people right now are under the impression it's still got a 50k Bitcoin incoming, and I'm not against that proposal either right now. So we get this post here, Bybit. This post came from Mr. Kiri_X as of today, 3 a.m. my time, which I did translate this in Gemini or AI because I don't speak. I'm not bilingual or multilingual. I only can speak English. That will hopefully change in the future. But to translate this, Kaspa is rising at $0.03 or 3 cents with a target of $0.10 or 10 cents driven by network growth. If Gemini has translated that correctly, please let me know. But if that is the case, therefore, Bybit, tier 1 exchange, at least in my interpretation, Bybit is a tier 1 exchange. When you look at CMC, when you look at the exchanges right now, Bybit is number 5. I know there was a massive, I go back and forth between the community in regards to what clarifies as a tier 1 exchange. We clarify Coinbase, OKX, Binance as tier 1 exchanges. But then after that, and Crypto.com and Kraken are tier 1 exchanges. But for some reason, the likes of Bybit and Bitget seem to lose that status. And I really do get confused as to why, because they are, by and large, massive exchanges that have a lot of volume, a lot of weekly visits. They are very popular. And Bybit was also one such exchange responsible for Kaspa's big rally from 5 to 15 cents alongside Binance Futures, I believe. So Bybit for me to an exchange, and why are they the ones saying here that Kaspa can make a 300% gain, a 3x from here? And seemingly it's due to network growth. And I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised at all, given some of these massive updates. Shout out to Kaspa Onion for this post here, reiterating what we've seen Kaspa Silver talk about and what we have seen Kaspa.com just post about. This is a very, very big deal. Before I do that though, welcome back, family. Rambling off a little bit right now. Welcome back, Dimmer, my man. We wait Kaspa at least to be 10 cents. I'm sure that is going to happen. When is the question, right? I have zero doubt in my mind Kaspa does reach 10 cents again. Is it going to happen as soon as Bybit seems to be hinting at? Who knows? I still think we've got more downside personally, but I'm also very confident that Kaspa can surpass that this year. If the market does return this year, which all of my sources, the one I just kind of leaked earlier with Broadridge, suggest that this year is going to be a big year in regard to investments that's going to subsidize crypto, I have zero doubt that Kaspa is going to do very, very well alongside crypto later on this year. Is it going to be summertime? Is it going to be the whole 1 year bear market thing, so October time? We'll have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. Is it going to be 2027? We'll have to wait and see. But I am personally, my personal belief, once more, not financial advice, do your own research, trade at your own discretion. I believe it can happen this year. We can see 10 cents, if not more so. Welcome back, Crypto Dad. Don't you know it? Pump it up. I know, right? Kaspa will most definitely pump it up in my belief. Welcome back, Josh. Screw Kaspa, 20k loss for what? Believe it or not, brother, that's the entire market. I do sympathise with those who have lost a lot of money on Kaspa. I really do sympathise with it, because I have been in a similar boat with other projects in the past, and I'm currently down on my Kaspa, although I continue DCAing it. But the same argument can be made for every single project in this space. It's not Kaspa. Kaspa's down roughly 85% from all-time highs, right? In the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, 85% all-time highs. You can take your pick of most projects in this space. If you got into that's in the in the interpretation, you got into Kaspa at the top. If you did it get at the top, then you wouldn't be down as much. But if you got into Kaspa at the top, 85% down from all-time highs. Look at Solana. Solana, you're down about 70% from all-time highs right now. That's Solana. That's like the 4th biggest altcoin in this space, if not 3rd biggest. XRP, even after its massive rally from the lawsuit, its unique case, is still down about 60%. Ethereum, the number 2, from its current, it's down 60% as well. That's Ethereum. So Kaspa's down a lot more than them, of course. But these are the big altcoins still down as much. Altcoins have just bled. And then you can compare to other projects. Look at Quant. From its recent high, as of December 2024, 60%. But from its all-time high, easily in the 90s. I don't even have to draw that out. That's obviously in the 90s there. Look at AVAX. From its recent high, which actually started correcting a little bit earlier than Kaspa, March 2024, not August 2024. That's down 86%, so same as Kaspa, if not a little bit more so. You can look at Ondu, which has connections to BlackRock. So by and large, it's going to do very, very well when the markets turn around with tokenizing real world assets. Ondu is down 88%, as much as Kaspa. So here's why I completely sympathize with your sentiment about not liking Kaspa due to how much you've lost. And I do sympathize with that. I really, really do. But it's not a Kaspa issue. It's a crypto altcoin issue. We've got to get out of that mindset, because that mindset ultimately why we continue to remain behind institutions and behind those who can predict the markets and get those who can remain logical. And I'm not trying to say I'm not remaining logical here, but it's once more, it's not, none of this is a Kaspa issue. Kaspa being down as much as it is not a Kaspa issue. It's not a problem with Kaspa. It's a problem with altcoins. That's literally what it is. But Tensor Tau, biggest AI project in this space, also started correcting a little bit earlier than Kaspa. April 2024 as opposed to August 2024. So it's been going down for almost 2 years straight now, 77%. So not as much as Kaspa, but it's still down significantly. And I can go down the list. There are many, many more projects that have done as badly, done worse, or not done as worse. It's all a matter of handpicking what you're trying to compare it against. But that's why I don't compare price, or I don't aim to compare price. I aim to just broaden perspectives in regards to, is Kaspa bad? Why is it bad? Is it a price reason why you think Kaspa's bad? If that's the answer, then you need to understand price of crypto and altcoins. If it's because of something Kaspa's doing internally in the project you don't like about it, that's another story entirely, and we could talk about that. But price-wise, I don't agree. Kaspa's been bad, but so is altcoins, so is crypto. Bitcoin dominance is still extremely high, and while this remains high, altcoins have continued to bleed. It's almost at 60%. What altcoins done well? You can handpick them, because there's probably, on one hand, you can pick what altcoins have performed well in the last year. Hyperliquid had a decent run at one point. XRP had a good run. Canton had a good run early on. It's coming back a little bit now, but Canton had a decent run early on. What else had a decent run? Zebek, when DinoCoin started running up again. So you've got 4 there, and there probably are a few others, but other than that, you've had to handpick unique winners. And even it's not a case of that. Kaspa has, in my belief, performed in line with the markets, which has not been great. But as Bybit says here, they could see a 3x up to 10 cents again in Kaspa quite soon due to network developments. So before I go to more of the presentation, to welcome back people to the channel once more, Kaspa Onion here highlights, what if the whole Kaspa community time locks it that half their holdings for 10 years as a community? This will be an epic publicity stunt and get Kaspa off the radar, and it will be a supply shock. Free 900 IQ marketing. The community is small enough we can pull it off, and the market cap is big enough. That forced time lock Silverscript supply shock will 100% attract greedy investors to take a look at Kaspa. So this is in regards to this post here. Kappa Silver highlights and retweets this post from Kaspa.com. Here we'll go through in a very short moment. What Silverscript will allow for Kaspa is really interesting. This feature showcased here is a time-locked vault. After a certain amount of time, Kaspa will automatically be moved to a different address. That's what Crypto Pumps was talking about in one of our blockchain banter shows the previous week with Ezio, and even spoke about it a little bit recently with Wolfie and Kaspador, where they got a sort of dead man switch feature where if you put it into a certain vault, if it's not touched for a certain amount of time, like a dead man switch vault thing, that will then be automatically sent to another address. So in the instance, God forbid, touch wood, that you're in bad health and you've got kids or family members who, you know, it's basically as your will. You're like, okay, well, if I pass away, I want my Kaspa to not be locked away, unaccessible to anybody. It's in a dead man switch where if it's not been touched for X amount of days or weeks or years, it then gets automatically sent to my siblings, my children, my family's address instead. That's one feature, one massive feature that Silverscript can do. And to my knowledge, I don't think there are many others, if any others, in this space that can do that. Correct me if I'm wrong though, because I haven't got the information on hand about that. But you can see here, Kaspa.com highlights this. Very, very big stuff here. Silverscript, Covenants in action, no layer 2, no EVM, pure UTXO running natively on Kaspa layer 1. A working contract deployed and executed directly from the Caspa.com wallet. Caspa.com is bringing Caspa's native power to users right here. The time lock vault here. This is really interesting stuff right now. And just one of many, many features that will be coming to Caspa, courtesy of Silverscript, courtesy of Covenants, courtesy of VPOGs, Dagnite, Atomic Swaps, and so many other game-changing developments that's being built on a layer 1. Native layer 1, proof of work, fair launch consensus mechanism. You'll see increased block per second that automates Caspa more accessible and utilized by the AI method that's coming through as well. There's so much more that will be coming to Caspa, which is why I'm so hell-bent and so convicted that this year is going to be a big one. When the whole narrative shifts back to risk on again and crypto starts pumping, Caspa would have continued building, make a stronger foundation. And when AI starts coming in, because when the next 1 million users are going to be AI agents, they're going to choose the best, most secure, the fastest, most efficient chain. That will be Caspa. There's zero doubt in my mind that Caspa will get a slice of that pie. And that's going to be enough to help bring more adoption back in, subsidize the miners, and hopefully start that pump back up. And you will probably see even more investments coming through as well. I know the likes of Wolfie, Casper Door, the likes of Ashton and Pavel and Johnny, they're all doing as hot, and Rory, all these individual names who are part of bigger elements, Casplex, KEF, IGRA, KRI, just Wolfie as an independent, all doing their job to increase Caspa's adoption and get his name out there, which is awesome stuff here. We also got this post here, which EasyODev kind of following up on this aspect. What's one programming language every developer needs to try at least once and why? Easier says here is Silverscript, and purely because it allows creating a unit of rules of the game that no one can stop on the best trade-off sequences. Of course, best of being Caspa here, but it's the fact that nobody can alter it, no one can stop it. You have complete freedom, which is something that, in a world that's full of restrictions and rules, is quite a big feat, to say the very, very least. And one thing that's also something we should take into account as well, Johnny highlights here, many asked about what Covenants, VPOG, Silverscript means for Caspa, and even Johnny, of course, and of course many of us are still very much confused about that. Tom Polinsky is going to hopefully be explaining that sooner or later, maybe after his Oxford speech he's going to be doing, I believe, on the 13th of March, so just next week. So that is exciting stuff here, and Microsoft responded to that here just saying, we will have a joint core effort for communicating and clarifying things specifically oriented towards builders, e.g. not seeking deep tech understanding, independent of hashtag speech. So we'll see what Tom Polinsky talks about in the very near future, but there will be more information coming out to bring more clarity to this space, which is all you really want, really, understanding what it is being built in as simple ways as possible. Easier highlights here what he's currently doing as well. Exciting stuff, all in all, definitely exciting stuff coming through. But yes, that was a very short, compact, short and sweet stream for today. I did say it's going to be a short one. Tomorrow's stream should be, actually tomorrow's stream is going to be different, because tomorrow's stream I'm meant to be at Wolfie's, giving a speech myself, basically doing what I'm doing here, but in front of people, as opposed to just behind my screen. Which I'll basically just be rambling and talking what I do here, except kind of giving my perception on why I think Caspa's going to do well this year and what it takes. Talked a little bit, we spoke about yesterday, about how everyone doesn't want to be first, but everyone wants to be second. So once you get someone willing to be first to get into Caspa, everyone's going to follow quickly after that. And I think AI could be that move for that as well, in my belief. I'll spitball in my head some sources that I've got from my VIPs to help support my speech. I'll try and make it a bit interesting as well, as much as I can do. But I have to stay tuned for that. But as we're finishing up and wrapping up today's stream, we have Brett in here. Welcome, my man. Hope you're doing very well. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. Indigenous, welcome back. Greg as well. Happy Friday to you too. Wing Hong as well. You had Andy, even my man. Brett, I already said to you, and Greza as well. All of you and everyone who's watching in the background. Hopefully you enjoyed today's content and today's stream. Hong also asked, if Silverscript automatically moves Caspa, how do I access that other address? Yes. So as I hopefully clarified, you haven't got to put it in that address. It's just a case of, as a dead man's switch, if you had Caspa, if you were unfortunately in a situation where you couldn't access your wallet, but so for example, let's say you had, I don't know, 100,000 Caspa and you wanted to put 50 of it or 80 of it into another wallet, that if it was accessed for whatever time parameter you set, let's say a year, it would then automatically send it to a different wallet. So all it means therefore is that once a year, or before that year timeline ends, you've got to move that Caspa back and forth from the wallet. That's all it is. And if you don't, then it will go to the other wallet that you set you designed it to go to, which could be family, friends, loved one, whatever it may be. I hope that answers your question. But that being said, family, more downside seem to be coming. That's perfectly fine. We've got more entries ahead of us as well. Don't be emotional, be logical. That being said, have a great day, good evening,